Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome to another Hairy Masters. No longer Daily Masters, now Hairy Masters. And I'm actually quite surprised how well that transition worked in terms of the name. It's just Hairy Masters just sounds so good. I probably should have been using it ages ago. But anyway, it is awesome. And this is going to be another awesome long game. I've got so many awesome long games, but I'm so scared of casting the Zerg ones because you guys know that I hate just watching Swarm hosts just slow the game down. So anyway, we're going to be checking out this one. It is going to be a PvT, so let's start checking it out. Up the top left side of the map, it is Mr. Maru. He is 17 years of age, from South Korea, plays for Jin Air Green Wings. And yeah, going to be doing some very, very awesome stuff in this game. His opponent, down the bottom right side of the map, is Mr. duckdeok, 20 years of age, from South Korea. Not currently part of a team, and he's actually, looks like he's retired. He was part of the MVP team for a while, and now he is retired? Huh? I don't know, this is a pretty old game, so it's quite possible that duckdeok has retired at this point, and I'm just casting an old game. But what you can be sure of is, at the point that he played this game, he was extremely awesome at Starcraft 2, and that's all that matters, because that's all we want to see in this game is awesome players playing Starcraft 2 very awesomely. And yeah, so let's start checking it out. Maru, what has he got up to? Both players have a nice expansion out there. We've got triple barracks, so he's getting a lot of gas, but he's not really pushing out to a factory early on, so just making sure that he's got the Marines out there to deal with any sort of crazy early Protoss play. duckdeok going to be doing a bit of a scout with his probe, making sure that nothing moves out, just keeping a watch. So both players, I think, starting off nicely and defensively so far. We're going to be seeing a robotics facility and a forge come out for duckdeok, so obviously wants to be starting those upgrades as soon as possible. And for 6-minute gameplay on this game, pretty good. Maru definitely going for a fair bit more barracks sort of play than I would have thought. I would have expected the factory to come out maybe a little bit sooner, but I guess he does have the advantage of being able to move out with some forces nice and early, maybe move out there and put some pressure on the Nexus nice and early on. We'll see if that's what he's planning on doing. He went out, he killed the probe. Oh my god. I think he just misclicked and actually killed his own Marine. We saw the Marine die there, and these guys are just in shock right now. Maru's like, come on, destroy the rocks, and the Marine's like, no, 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 no. I'm never going to use my gun again. Oh my god. So, that's just, yeah. I wonder if that actually counts as a kill. One of these guys will have a kill, because they killed the probe. No, no kills. Maybe the guy who killed the probe was the guy who the other Marine shot. Oh, that's just bad. Look at this guy, man. I don't know how being shot by a laser actually like explodes you into multiple different parts. Like there was a foot over there, there was a couple of ribs lying on their side, there's like a backpack or something like that. I'm hoping it was a backpack. It may have been something else that looks like a backpack, but it was actually like an internal organ or something like that. But yeah, it's like, how does the Stalkers do? I can understand a Zealot or a Dark Templar hitting you and then you end up like that, but with a Stalker, you'd think you just end up as like a one fused mass of flesh as opposed to being sliced apart. But maybe it's just one of those things. Maybe the Stalker, after it shot it, it sort of quickly ran across and just sort of stabbed it a few times with the sword legs it has. Has anybody ever noticed? I think these things that Zealots are using to hack, I think the Stalkers actually have them on their legs. Like, it's got 4 sword legs or something like that. It could run over a bunch of Zerg or a bunch of Marines and just do a crazy sort of sword leg spin attack and just absolutely demolish anything, but I suppose then it would just fall on its ass if it decided to do that. So you can sort of understand that sort of stuff. Here we go, medevac coming out, 4 Marauders, whole bunch of Marines, 1 weapons, looking fairly close, not super close, but he might be able to do anything here. duckdeok does have an Immortal out though, and he is getting his first Archons. He's been teching up very, very nicely in this game. And Maru, might have some problems here. An Immortal and an Archon. Yeah, I think he should be okay in dealing with those 4 Marauders. The factory is going over there, is actually going to be landing. I don't know what he's going to be building here. Maybe Widow Mines or something like that. Oh, Force Field's going to be trapping a couple of Marines. Doesn't get the Marauders, but the Marauders do get a couple of Zealots. Here they go, getting up the top side. And they see the Archon, they see the Immortals. This is definitely not something that Maru can just overwhelm here. He gets in range of the Archon. He'd love to finish it off, and he does finish it off at the very last second, but he's been taking a serious amount of losses there. And the Medevacs, well, they're not almost out of energy, but yeah, they're using energy. There we go, and some Widow Mines coming out, which is going to be awesome. There we go, nice drop on the 3rd base. Might be able to force the cancel here. In fact, I think it's almost 100% certainty. Do force the cancel. Meanwhile, nice Warp Prism drop here of Zealots. They have got Zealot legs, probably just finished nice and recently. And they're going to be going absolutely nuts here. One Marauder goes down, the other Marauder taking heavy damage. If it's just Marines versus Zealots, that's not good news for Maru. And the work is having to get into it to actually kill these guys. They do go down. The Warp Prism just sort of shoots across, warps in some more Zealots. And Maru taking more and more damage. That second warp in was absolutely crazy. Here we go, just going to be dropping some down on the natural. Is he? No, he's going for the 3rd base, but there is no 3rd base, so just going to be hacking at a worker, and the Zealots continuing to do so much damage. Duckdeok has lost 1 worker, Maru has lost 25, and his income right now is 39 under 63. And I think that pretty much tells us all we need to know about how this game is going so far. It's just Duckdeok doing a fantastic job. Maru sort of getting his ass handed to him. We got 2 Nexi coming down at the moment. One here. Where's the second one? Oh, over here. Did that one go down? Did Maru manage to get back in here? I think Maru must have managed to get back in here and actually sniped that. Oh man, we must have missed that. That would have been epic. Unfortunately, didn't manage to kill too many workers, but he obviously got the Marauders back in here, sniped a whole lot of stuff when Duckdeok wasn't looking. He was just too busy looking at that other stuff. But Maru is royally pissed now, and he's definitely thinking about doing some stuff. There are 2 Immortals up here though. It's going to be very, very hard for Maru to break this, but he's got so many Marauders. Oh, the storm's starting to come down. That is not what Maru wanted to happen. He was already low on health from all those stims he'd been doing, and now he's just going to be running the hell out of there. Maybe going to be able to take this pylon, but the Nexus, there's no chance of that. And these guys are just so crazily low on health. The Medevacs, I don't know what they were doing, but they're getting the hell out of there as well. One Zealot, a bit over enthusiastic, and another Warp Prism drop here. Is Maru going to be on top of this? The answer looks like no, not quite. He's had to run his workers away. He's got a decent amount of reinforcements in though, and they are going to be able to take out those Zealots a lot quicker than the previous time. So he's going to get on top of it a lot better. But I think he's still trying to get back from that first attack with the Warp Prism drop, and he's having quite a bit of trouble here. And we have a look, let's have a look around his base. The 15-minute mark, and we're not seeing a 3rd command center out there, and that is bad. That is very bad. I mean, if a ton of workers go down and you just have to deal with it, there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't mean, you know, that you're screwing up if you lose all those workers. It just shit happens. But the 15-minute mark, he is not building a 3rd base. This is something that's really worrying me, because he needs that 3rd base to get back in. We can see he's 20 workers behind, and that is bad. He needs that 3rd command center to try and catch back up. He's pushing everything he can into the army, and I think he wants to do some damage. But the thing is, right now he needs to be able to move in and actually kill some economy. He needs to overcome Duck's army and kill some economy. Otherwise, he's going to be in the shit a long term. And he hasn't been able to do that. So now he's going for the 3rd base, and that's exactly what he needs to do, because I don't think he's going to be able to overcome this army and actually do some stuff. He's going to do the run around here. There is a cannon watching for him. The cannon going to start to have a crack. He's going to go in for the main base. A couple of pylons down here. I don't know if he's going to be able to take out any workers though. That's the downside. He might be able to get some pylons, but who gives a shit about pylons? It's the workers and the Nexus that he needs to do. And actually, he's going to snipe the Nexus, and that is definitely going to be awesome. I mean, he sniped the Nexus before on the expansion, and he sniped the Nexus on the main, so maybe he's not doing as badly as we've been saying he's been doing, but still, I mean, the worker count is still quite different here. Manages to snipe a couple, but mainly cannons and stuff. And here we go, Duck going for another harassment. Workers thankfully getting out of there nice and fast. Reinforcements coming in, not nearly enough. And maybe like a Viking, it's like a Viking or two, just to scout for that damn Warp Prism, because this is the third time that this shit has happened. And he's sending out workers once again to actually deal with these guys, to provide a shield while he goes in and starts to own them. So it's not good. Anytime you need workers to actually do your battles for you, it's not good. And we seem to be seeing the workers get in there time and time again. We see there's up to 34 workers lost, and Duck up to 6, but I mean, that's really not that bad. He's continuing to get that Warp Prism action out there, despite how heavy Maru is on the offensive. And he is pretty damn heavy on the offensive. But you can see Duck starting to leave some Zealots out there, leaves a High Templar. Not so much at this base, but at this base, he's actually has not rebuilt that Nexus. He's not really worrying about it. Here we go, nice drop coming down. The Zealot's going to be going down ASAP. Couple of storms going to land on this army though. That one didn't catch most of it, but the next one caught a lot more. Absolutely beautiful, and more Zealots rolling in. Maru may still have enough to actually deal with this, but I don't think he's going to try here. He's got a nice drop over there, but that one is not going to go out. The main army's so close, it's just not going to happen. Another round of Zealots coming in, and Maru once again with... This time is a lot better. This time he's got a lot more forces, just absolutely rolling forces in here. So he takes out those Zealots nice and quick. Didn't even pull the workers out because he was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be around for too long. They're going to be dead in about 2 seconds, and they were dead in 2 seconds. But oh man, I think it's still going to be favoring Duck, man. I mean, he's just been doing such an exceptional job. Maru so far though has continued to pump out. I gotta feel like, let's have a look at this. This is actually favoring Maru, which I'm very surprised about. I would have thought that Maru would have been throwing out a lot more forces, taking out a lot more hits, but then again, Duck has been throwing a ton of Zealots into the mix. So you can see here 62 Zealots lost, and Zealots cost twice as much as Marines. So that's where all of that resources lost count is coming for Mr. Duck. He's just throwing so many Zealots out there, and I think the last 2 waves probably eked him over the edge in terms of this resources lost count, because he was doing well the first couple of times, but then the last one he just lost so many Zealots and didn't really accomplish too much for it. So it started to send him into the red as opposed to the black, where he'd been for most of those accomplishments. Here we go, nice High Templar, full energy, gets a nice storm off before it dies, and that is going to be beautiful. Ton of Zealots just being warped in, and Maru has to hide in the corner, but still taking so much damage here. There's another drop coming in. I'm not sure what was going on here, but we do have the Viking waiting for that Warp Prism, so that is beautiful. I think the Warp Prism just got destroyed, and Maru hoping to kill a key building here. This is going to be absolutely awesome if he gets to do it, and it looks like he is. There we go. The robotics bay does go down, and how many Colossus do we have? We've got 0 and 1 on the way. Did he actually get... He didn't get the Colossus range upgrade. I don't know if he was researching it or not, but he did not get it regardless. And if it got cancelled by that robotics bay being destroyed, then that is very, very nasty. And Maru now knows Colossus are the name of the game. He probably knew that before, but now does know a little bit more. There's the name of the game. He hasn't caught up on the income, but he seems to be doing a pretty damn good job with what he's been getting. And the fact that he has kept his workers alive through the last 2 drops from Duck has really helped him out a lot in this game. And I think Maru has always been just crazy with the Triple M going in and doing a fantastic job. Is just that massive amount of workers he lost early in the game, which sort of set him back, which sort of gave Duck a sort of way in, a sort of evened it out a little bit more. But now Maru has a massive amount of units. He's going in, he's doing what he's loved, but he's still facing a very decent Protoss force there. He took out the 1 Colossus, And obviously feeling like he destroyed the robotics bay gives him a little bit of a chance to do something, but still wasn't enough. There were Archons, there were Immortals, and they did quite a lot of damage. So he's going to go for the rocks down here. And Duck has that robotics bay down. He's getting the upgrade and the first Colossus out once again. And a lot of units, a lot of buildings actually being unpowered back here. That robotics facility was... oh man, that was the one trying to build the Colossus. Turns out it was only being powered by one pylon somewhere in there, so that is not good at all. But the remaining ground units, well, I'd say they're still enough to scare off the Maru's forces, but then again, that Nexus just got destroyed. And Maru once again swinging around to get into the lead in this game, and just really, really absolutely going nuts. And Duck, I suppose Duck is probably not mining as much as Maru because he's just been losing these Nexi. This one almost out, so he's basically just fully mining on this one and hoping to get this one up nice and easily. But the drops have been beautiful, and just the straight up action from Maru has been beautiful. So there we go. He's got 2-1 for these. These guys have 3-2 though. So that has got to be, you'd think that would be making an impact here, but I guess it's just Triple M is just so freaking insane, and he just doesn't have the Colossus numbers. He really needs to whittle these guys down. Here we go. Here's going to be a flank with the Storms. That was a beautiful flank, or at least the first one was. Hit beautifully on the center of those forces, and now he's going to be chasing. He sees an opening, chases a little bit. Maru does fall back, and the first Colossus is out there doing a great job. We do have only one Viking for Maru, so maybe this is an opportunity for Duck to go in there, get some free hits with his Colossus, but he's got to be careful because so much Triple M there, so much Triple M from Maru. If Duck gets out of position and just gets in the middle, like he's almost out of position there, almost ran into a 3-sided defensive formation, and that would have caused a lot of his forces to die and could have left the Colossus exposed, which would have been absolutely horrendously bad for Duck. Because if he loses that Colossus again, then Maru's like, yeah, maybe I can go out and actually do some things here. And you do not want Maru having a go at your bases, because if this base gets sniped or this base gets sniped, then it's going to be extremely bad news for Mr. Duck. And it looks like Maru is going to be thinking about that anyway. Duck trying to keep him on the back foot. Maru, you can only push him so far, and then he just falls back into that beautiful defensive play, and you just can't push him anymore. And once people back off, that's when the drops start happening, and Duck probably knows this, so he's already pushing out. He's got the second Colossus pushing out a little bit. Is he going to be able to stop the drops? I'm not sure. The Vikings getting way out of position, hoping for a bit of glory, ended up getting destroyed instead, and looks like we may be seeing an attack on Maru's third base over here, maybe. Duck sort of dancing around a little bit, going for a major engagement here. Maru deciding to hold. I don't know how long this is going to last. The Vikings are attacking the Colossus, doing a fairly decent job. One Colossus goes down, and we now have 4 Vikings taking out the second one. So a ton of units going down from Maru, but in the end, he does take 2 Colossus down. These guys going down manage to find a Colossus in the base. You think it might be good, but then again, that Colossus does a lot of damage. It basically cleaned up the drop force by itself. And meanwhile, the attack sort of coming to a tie. Whole bunch of Zealots and stuff like that are all that's left, but enough Zealots can scare the Terran army away, and that army, they don't look as scared as you would think, but they are definitely going to be a little bit wary because the Zealots run in. They can absolutely destroy everything. So we've sort of seen a semi-reset here with both armies, but Maru with his exceptional macro is going to be pushing ahead, and Duck is going to be trying to do the same, but it just seems like the Terran always seem to be able to get out that much more of the income of the macro, just building that many more units. Who knows? As long as Duck gets those Colossus out in a heavy number, gets those High Templar out in a heavy number, those are going to be the game-changing units. And I think he is definitely doing a very good job at building a ton of those. So I have to see. It's gone all quiet in this game. There's no sounds, well, there's the scan sound, but there's nothing else happening at the moment. Just waiting. Ah, there we go. Something dies. Beautiful. It was almost 10 seconds without a unit dying. So I know you guys were starting to get bored, but yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be getting into it pretty soon. We've got a nice base out on the wings here. The Protoss player has a nice base out on the wings there as well. We've got a factory out in the middle of nowhere. God knows what that was planning to do, but he should get that over there and start scouting this thing. Of course, moving something to scout something that you don't know is there is actually harder than it might sound. So you just have to sort of scout areas other than actually scouting buildings, because of course you don't know the building's there until you see them. Goes there. That might be a nice pickup if you imagine just to snipe that. Doesn't look like it. This Zealot just going to be going for a scout, causing a whole bunch of units to come back and actually deal with it. Meanwhile, while those units are running back chasing after that single Zealot, Duck is going to be pressing in there. Not going to send a whole lot, just going to send a few Zealots in to roast these guys. Maru, of course, cannot defend easily because those rocks are blocking the own base, so he needs to be making sure he takes care of those. Meanwhile, these Zealots continuing to go nuts. The workers are not running, and Maru cannot get his forces over there. He had these rocks up. That turned out to be a huge mistake, and the workers lost just skyrocketed. Now Duck is 59 over 29, and that attack basically was it. I mean, I'm not saying the Duck has won the game, but I am saying that Duck is going to have to, yeah, he's going to have to take some seriously bad hits if he is going to lose this game, because I think that he is in a very, very good position at this point. He just needs to keep on it. I mean, he is going to lose, well, actually, maybe things are going to go bad for him. Duck is going to lose a ton of workers on this base. He's going to lose a Nexus, and that is going to be bad news for him. It's interesting that he gave the GG, because this was an evening move for Maru. This is a desperation evening move that he had to do. And I mean, Maru was down to 18 workers, Duck was up to 46. He would have lost all those, and it would have evened the game out for him. Obviously a little bit lower because he would have lost his Nexus, whereas Maru kept his base. But, oh man, I think he could have kept going. Both players just would have been sort of screwed over, and they would have just been moving slowly through the rest of the game, just slowly trying to get stuff back up. But then again, Maru had the army at this point. So economy-wise, they both would have been, you know, crawling for quite some time, maybe the next 5 minutes. But then again, Maru had an army, and Duck didn't. So that's probably why he gave the GG at this point in the game. And it's fair enough. So that's it. Maru, just the Terran cannot be stopped in this game. I thought Duck had it a few times. I thought he was in a beautiful position, but the Terran cannot be stopped. Just sometimes they just triple M, just completely demolish their way through. I mean, the Colossus never really got to that beautiful 5-6 Colossus number where they own everything. We saw some storms. We never saw some game-changing storms in this game. And meanwhile, Maru just had the forces out there, and he just kept things rolling with the basic triple M, and it was just beautiful. So that's it. Game done. Congratulations to Maru for a beautiful victory. And thank you very much for watching this game. I will catch you guys later on with another one. So stay tuned for that.